Assistance up to a ceiling of 75 lakh rupees will be provided to every ENAM market for establishment of cleaning, grading and packaging facility. This will lead to greater value addition of the farmers' produce. Market reforms will be undertaken and states would be urged to denotify perishables from the APMC. This will give an opportunity to the farmers to sell their produce and get a better price. We also propose to integrate farmers who grow fruits and vegetables with agro-processing units for a better price realization and reduction of post-harvest losses. A model law on contract farming would therefore be prepared and circulated amongst the states for adoption. Dairy is an important source of additional income on farmers. Availability of milk processing facility and other infrastructure will benefit the farmers through value addition. A number of milk processing units set up under the Operation Flood program have since become old and obsolete. A dairy processing infrastructure development fund would be created, set up by NABARD with a corpus of 8,000 crores over 3 years. Initially, the fund will start with a corpus of rupees 2,000 crores. Rural population. I now turn to the rural sector, which is so dear to the heart of Mahatma Gandhi. Over rupees 3 lakh crores are spent in rural areas every year. If we add all the programs meant for the rural poor by the central budget and the state budgets, budget linkage for self-help groups. With a clear focus on improving accountability and outcomes and convergence, we will undertake a mission Antyodaya to bring 1 crore households out of poverty and make 50,000 gram panchayats poverty-free by 2019. The 150th birth anniversary of Gandhiji. We will utilize the existing resources more effectively along with annual increases. This mission will work with a focused micro plan for sustainable livelihood for every deprived household. A composite index of poverty-free gram panchayat would be developed to monitor the progress from the baseline. Our government has made a conscious effort to reorient MG Manrega to support the resolve to double farmers' incomes. While providing at least 100 days employment to every rural household, Manrega should create productive assets to improve farm productivity and incomes. The target of 5 lakh ponds and 10 lakh composite pits announced in the last year budget from Manrega funds have been fully achieved. In fact, against 5 lakh ponds, it is expected that about 10 lakh farm ponds would be completed by March 2017. During 2017 and 18, another 5 lakh ponds would be taken up. The single measure would contribute greatly to drought-proofing of the Gram Panchayats. Participation of women in Manrega has increased to 55% from less than 48% in the past. Honourable members would be happy to note that in the budget provisions of 38,500 under Manrega in 2016-17 has now been increased to rupees 48,000 crores in 2017 and 18. This is the highest ever allocation for Manrega. पहले 40,000 अलॉट होता था और 29,000 खर्च होता था. अब 38,500 पिछली बार अलॉट हुआ, 47,000 खर्च हुआ और आने वाले साल में 48,000 होगा.
ये परंपरा नहीं है. You know better. This is not the method. This is not the way.
The initiative, sir, madam.
We are talking about the rural employment, not political unemployment.
The initiative to geotag all Manrega assets and putting them in public domain has established greater transparency. We are also using space technology in a big way to plan Manrega works. The Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana is now being implemented as never before. the pace of construction of the PMGSY roads has accelerated to 133 kilometers road per day in 2016-17, as against an average of 73 kilometers per day during the period 2011-14. We have also taken the task of connecting habitations with more than 100 persons in the left-wing extremism affected blocks. We have committed to complete the current target of PMGSY by 2019. I have provided 19,000 crores in 2017-18 for this scheme. Together with the contribution of the states, an amount of 27,000 crores will be spent on PMGSY in 2017 and 18. We propose to complete 1 crore houses by 2019 for the houseless and those living in Kacha houses. I have stepped up the allocation for the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin from rupees 15,000 crore last year to rupees 23,000 crore in the next year. We are well on our way of achieving 100% village electrification by 1st May 2018. An increased allocation of rupees 4,814 crore has been proposed under the Deen Dayal Upadhyaya Gram Jyoti Yojana for 2017 and 18. I have also proposed to increase the allocation of the Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Rural Livelihood Mission for promotion of skill development and livelihood opportunities for our people in the rural areas to 4,500 in 2017-18. The allocation of the Prime Minister's employment generation and credit support schemes has been increased more than 3 times. The Swachh Bharat Mission has made tremendous progress for promoting safe sanitation and ending open defecation. Sanitation coverage in rural areas has gone up from 42% in October 2014 to about 60% now. 18% बढ़ा है. Open defecation free villages are now being given priority for piped water supply. We propose to provide safe drinking water to cover 28,000 arsenic and fluoride affected habitations in the next 4 years. There will be a sub-mission for the National Rural Drinking Program. For imparting new skills to people in the rural areas, mason training will be provided to 5 lakh persons by 2022, with immediate target of training of at least 20,000 persons by 2017-18. Panchayat Raj institutions still lack the human resources for implementing developmental programs. A program of human resource reforms for results will be launched in 2017-18 for this purpose. The government will continue to work closely with the farmers and the people in rural areas to improve the life and the environment. This is a non-negotiable agenda for our government. The total allocation for rural, agricultural and allied sectors for 2017-18 is a record 1,87,223 crores, which is 24% higher than the last year. Youth. Let me now focus my proposals on the youth. Quality education will energize our youth. In the words of Swami Vivekananda, the education which does not help the common mass of the people to equip them to struggle for life, is it worth the name? We have proposed to introduce a system of measuring annual learning outcomes in our schools. Emphasis will be given on science education and flexibility in curriculum to promote creativity through local innovative content. An innovation fund for secondary education will be created to encourage local innovation for ensuring universal access, gender parity and quality improvement. This will include an ICT-enabled transformation. The focus will be the 3,479 educationally backward blocks. In higher education, we will undertake reforms in the UGC. Good quality institutions would be enabled to have greater administration and academic autonomy. Colleges will be identified based on accreditation and ranking and given autonomous status. A revised framework will be put in place for outcome-based accreditation and credit-based programs. We propose to leverage information technology with the launch of Swayam platform with at least 350 online courses. This would enable students to virtually attend the courses taught by the best faculty, access higher quality reading resources, participate in discussion forums, and take tests and earn academic grades. Access to Swayam would be widened by the linkage with DTH channels dedicated to the education. We propose to establish a national testing agency as an autonomous and self-sustained premier testing organization to conduct all entrance exams for higher education. This would free the CBSE, AICTE and other premier institutions from these administrative responsibilities so that they can focus more on academics. We have a huge demographic advantage. Skill India mission launched in July 2015 to maximize the potential of our youth. The Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Kendras have already been promoted in more than 60 districts. We now propose to extend these Kendras to more than 600 districts across the country. 100 India International Skill Centers will be established across the country. These centers would offer advanced training and also courses in foreign languages. This will help those youth of our country to seek job opportunities outside the country. In 2017-18, we have also proposed to launch the Skill Acquisition and Knowledge Awareness for Livelihood Promotion Program Sankalp at a cost of rupees 4,000 crores. Sankalp will provide market-relevant training to 3.5 crore youth. The next phase of skill strengthening for industrial value enhancement will be launched in 2017-18 at a cost of rupees 2,200 crores. Strive will focus to improve on the quality and the market relevance of vocational training provided in this. ITIs and strengthen the apprenticeship program through industry cluster approach. A special scheme for creating employment in the textile sector has already been launched. A similar scheme will be implemented for the leather and the footwear sector. Tourism is a big employment generator and has a multiplier impact on the economy. 5 special tourism zones anchored on SPV will be set up in partnership with the states. Incredible India 2nd campaign will be launched across the world. The poor and the unprivileged. Madam, I now turn my proposals to the poor and the unprivileged. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas begins with the girl child and the woman. Mahila Shakti Kendras will be set up at a village level with an allocation of rupees 500 crores in 14 lakh ICDS Anganwadi centers. This will provide a one-stop convergent support system for empowering rural women with opportunities for skill development, employment, digital literacy, health and nutrition. A nationwide scheme for financial assistance to pregnant women has already been announced by the Honorable Prime Minister on the 31st of December 2016. Under this scheme, rupees 6,000 each will be transferred directly to the accounts of pregnant women who undergo institutional delivery and vaccinate their children. For the welfare of women and children, under various schemes across ministries, I have stepped up the allocation from rupees 1,56,528 crores in the BE of 2016-17 to rupees 1,84,000 crores, 632 crores in 2017 and 18. We propose to facilitate higher investment in affordable housing, and affordable housing will now be given infrastructure status, which enables those projects to avail the associated benefits. The National Housing Bank will refinance individual housing loans of rupees 20,000 crores in 2017 and 18. Thanks to the surplus liquidity created by demonetization, the banks have already started reducing their lending rates, including those for housing. In addition, interest subvention for housing loans has been announced by the Honorable Prime Minister. Poverty is usually associated with poor health. It is the poor who suffer the maximum from various chronic diseases. Government has therefore prepared an action plan to eliminate Kala Azar and filariasis by 2017, leprosy by 2018, and measles by 2020. Elimination of tuberculosis by 2025 is also targeted. Similarly, action has been prepared to reduce the IMR from 39 in 2014 to 28 in 2019, MMR from 167 in 2011 to 13 to 100 by 2018-20. 1.5 lakh health sub-centers will be transformed into health wellness centers. We need to ensure adequate availability of specialist doctors to strengthen the secondary and the tertiary levels of health care. We have therefore decided to take steps to create an additional 5,000 postgraduate seats per annum. In addition, steps will also be taken to roll out the DNB courses in the big district hospitals, strengthen postgraduate training in the select ESI and municipal corporation hospitals, and encourage reputed private hospitals to start the DNB courses. We will work with the state government to take this task forward. The government is also committed to take necessary steps for structural transformation of the regulatory framework of the medical education and practice in India. 2 new All India Institute of Medical Sciences will be set up in the states of Jharkhand and Gujarat. We propose to amend the drugs and cosmetic rules to ensure availability of drugs at reasonable prices, to ensure the use of generic medicines. New rules regarding medical devices will be formulated. These rules will be internationally harmonized and attract investment into this sector. This will reduce the cost of such devices. We have been keen to foster a conducive labor environment wherein labor rights are protected and harmonious labor relations leads to higher productivity. Legislative reforms will be undertaken to simplify, rationalize, and amalgamate existing labor laws into 4 codes: 1 wages, 2 industrial relations, 3 social security and welfare, and 4 safety and working conditions. The Model Shop and Establishment Bill 2016 has been circulated to all states for consideration and adoption. This would open up additional avenues of employment for women. The amendments made to the Payment of Wages Act is another initiative of our government for the benefit of the labor and the ease of doing business. Our government is committed. Our government is giving special importance to the implementation of schemes for the welfare of scheduled castes, scheduled tribe and minorities. The allocation of the scheduled caste has been stepped up from rupees 38,833 crores in the budget estimate of 2016-17 to 52,393. इससे मैडम 35% इंक्रीज एससी एलोकेशन का इस बजट में है. The allocation of scheduled tribes has been increased to 31,920 crores and minority affairs to 4,195 crores. The budget will introduce outcome-based monitoring of expenditure in these sectors by the Niti Aayog. For senior citizens, Aadhaar-based smart cards containing their health details will be introduced. A beginning will be made through the pilot in 15 districts during 2017-18. The LIC will be implement a scheme of senior citizens to provide an assured pension with a guaranteed return of 8% per annum for 10 years. The fifth component of the TEC agenda is infrastructure. Railways, roads and rivers are the lifeline of the country. I feel privileged to present the first combined budget of independent India that includes the railways also. We are now in a position to synergize the investment in railways, roads, waterways and civil aviation. For 2017-18, the total capital and development expenditure of railways has been pegged at 1,31,000 crores. This includes 55,000 crores provided by the government from the budget. Amongst other things, the railways will focus on four major areas. 1. Passenger safety. 2. Capital and development works. 3. Cleanliness. And 4. Financial and accounting reforms. For passenger safety, a rail Sanraksha Kosh will be created, a safety fund, with a corpus of rupees 1 lakh crores over a period of 5 years. Besides seed capital from the government, the railways will arrange the balance from its own resource avenues and other sources. The government will lay down clear-cut guidelines for timeline for implementation of various safety works to be funded from this course. Unmanned level crossings on broad gauge lines will be eliminated by 2020. Expert international assistance will be harnessed to improve safety preparedness and maintenance practices. In the next 3 years, throughout it is proposed to, the throughput is proposed to be enhanced by 10%. This will be done through modernization, upgradation of identified corridors. Railway lines of 3,500 kilometers will be commissioned in 2017-18 as against 2,800 kilometers in 16-17. Steps will be taken to launch dedicated trains of tourism and pilgrimage. Railways have put up joint ventures with 9 state governments. 70 projects have been identified for construction and development. A beginning has been made with regard to the station redevelopment. At least 25 stations are expected to be awarded during 17-18 for station redevelopment. 500 stations will be made differently abled friendly by providing lifts and escalators. It is proposed to feed around 7,000 stations with solar power in the medium term. A beginning has already been made in 300 stations. Work will be taken up for 2,000 railway stations as a part of the 1,000 megawatt solar mission. Our focus is on Swachh Railways. SMS-based Clean My Coach service has been started. It is now proposed to introduce a Coach Mitra facility, a single window interface to register all coach-related complaints and requirements. By 2019, all coaches of Indian Railways will be fitted with biotoilets. Pilot plants for environment-friendly disposal of solid waste and conversion of biodegradable waste and to energy are being set up at New Delhi and Jaipur railway stations. 5 more such solid waste management plants are now being taken up. Today, Indian Railways faces stiff competition from other modes of transport which are dominated by private sector modes of transportation. Transformative measures have to be undertaken to make Indian Railways competitive and to retain their position and preeminence. The following steps will therefore be taken. 1. Railways will implement end-to-end integrated transport solutions for selected commodities through partnership with logistic players who would provide both front and back-end connectivity. Rolling stock and practices will be customed to transport perishable goods, especially agricultural products. 2. Railways will offer competitive ticket booking facility to the public at large. Service charges on e-tickets booked through IRCTC will be withdrawn. Cashless reservations have gone up from 58% to 68%. As a part of accounting reforms, accrual-based financial statements will be rolled out by March 2019. It will now be our continuous endeavour to improve the operating ratio of the railways. The tariffs of the railways would be fixed taking into consideration costs, quality of service, social obligation and competition from other forms of transport. Metro rail is emerging as an important mode of urban transportation. A new metro rail policy will be announced with focus on innovative models of implementation and financing, as well as standardization and indigenization of hard work and software. This will open up new job opportunities for our youth. A new Metro Rail Act has been enacted by rationalizing the existing laws. This will facilitate greater private participation and investment in construction and operation. In the road sector, I have stepped up the budget allocation for the national highways from 57,676 crores in the BE of 16-17 to 64,000 crores in 2017-18. 2,000 kilometers of coastal connectivity roads have been identified for construction and development. This will facilitate better connectivity with ports and remote villages. The total length of roads, including those under the PMGSY, built from 2014-15 till the current year is about 140,000 kilometers, which is significantly higher than the previous 3 years. An effective multimodal logistics and transport system will make our economy more competitive. A specific program for development of multimodal logistic parks together with multimodal transport facilities will be drawn up and implemented. Selected airports in Tier 2 cities will be taken up for operation and management in the PPP mode. Airport Authority of India Act will be amended to enable effective monetization of land assets. The resources so raised will be utilized for airport upgradation. For the transport sector as a whole, including railways, road, shipping, I have provided rupees 2,41,387 crores in 2017-18. The magnitude of investment will spur a huge amount of economic activity in the country and create more job opportunities. Telecom sector is an important component of our infrastructure system. The recent spectrum auctions have removed the spectrum scarcity in the country. This will give a major fillip to mobilize broadband and digital India for the benefit of people living in rural and remote areas. Under the BharatNet project, OFC has been laid in 1,55,000 kilometers. I have stepped up the allocation of BharatNet project to rupees 10,000 crores in 17-18. By the end of 17-18, high-speed broadband connectivity on optic fiber will be available in more than 1,50,000 gram panchayats with a hotspot and access to digital services at low tariffs. A DigiGaon initiative will be launched to provide telemedicine, education and skills through digital technology. For strengthening our energy sector, the government has decided to set up strategic crude oil reserves. In the first phase, 3 such reserve facilities have been set up. Now in the second phase, it is proposed to set up caverns at 2 more locations, namely Chandiakahol in Odisha and Bikaner in Rajasthan. This will take our strategic reserves capacity to 15.33 MMT. In solar energy, we now propose to take up the second phase of solar power development for additional 20,000 megawatt capacity. We are also creating an ecosystem to make India a global hub for electronics manufacture. Over 250 investment proposals for electronic manufacturers have been received in the last 2 years, totaling an investment of rupees 1,26,000 crores. A number of global leaders and mobile manufacturers have set up production facilities in India. I have therefore exponentially increased the allocation and incentives of schemes like MSIPs and EDF to 745 crores in 17-18.